Have you ever been invited to a close friend's wedding and been excited to go, but realized it was abroad and you were therefore unable to attend? With this question in mind, I will be delving into this topic and whether destination weddings are self-centered and inconvenient for guests, or whether they are a memorable and cost-effective experience. According to the 2021 census done in England and Wales, almost half of the population were married, which most likely included some form of ceremony. Nowadays, there is an increasing importance on the uniqueness and speciality of the couple's special day, and many are leaning towards the idea of having that day abroad to enhance those qualities. Having the best day of your life with the one you love most at a beautiful, exotic location, who wouldn't want to get married there? For a wedding to count as a destination wedding, however, it does have to fit certain requirements. Most, if not all, of the guests need to have traveled quite an extensive distance to get there. This is not necessarily a requirement, however. Guests can also catch trains or drive. For this discussion, destination weddings will only be defined as those that take place overseas and will have the perspective that any travel will originate in the United Kingdom. Destination weddings have massive appeal for those interested in the idea. They provide a certain level of intimacy that would not have been previously achievable, they allow for more one-on-one time with beloved family members, and they add a sense of adventure for those that want it. Moreover, they are completely and totally customizable, and the unique location will help the bride and groom feel like their wedding is their own, versus it having a cookie-cutter feeling. The International Journal of Economics and Business Research found that, despite representing a recent world trend, wedding tourism felt a growth of 75% the last few years. This statistic shows that the destination wedding market specifically is having a very optimistic development and is becoming a very important and relevant topic in the event industry. There's a certain romantic perspective that these provide for the couples that otherwise would not be attainable, or at least much more difficult. Some people are also swayed towards the idea of a destination wedding because it often means a smaller guest list. With having the wedding not close to home comes potential travel restrictions which might prohibit some to attend, but on the plus side, it allows more meaningful time with those that do attend. Let us switch our focus onto the guest's perspective and all that comes along with attending a destination wedding. There's many obvious costs involved, but there's also many less obvious ones. In 2016, Statista did a study on Brits going abroad and discovered many costs that were not originally anticipated. Airline seat charges, late checkout fees, and city tax are some of these, and they need not be forgotten. Now let us move on to the more obvious costs. There's hotels, ways of travel, food, and a gift for the couple. All of this can be done on a budget, but it will always be more expensive than attending a wedding closer to home. Looking at hotels in Tuscany, for example, average room price in the busy season and most likely wedding time, which is around June 2026, would be around £400 just for one night. With these factors looming over their minds, guests may feel the burden of the whole experience to be too much and therefore decide they're unable to attend. The concerns of, am I a bad friend, or are they mad at me, are ones that are sure to plague their minds and create pressure. Everyone hates disappointing people they know, and having a destination wedding is an easy way of placing those invited in tricky and uncomfortable situations. None of this is helped by modern influencers and social media and how they portray and amplify these luxury wedding normalities. Some examples of these being displayed are Ed Westwick and Madeline White, who all got married in destination locations. Seeing all the photos and videos of their special day online only creates more pressure for those invited to attend and fear of them ruining the perfect picture of the wedding day that the couple surely have. With having a destination wedding typically comes a smaller guest list, and this can be very appealing to couples who are considering having their wedding abroad. Having a smaller guest list means more quality time with each guest versus having a larger amount of guests but only spending brief moments with each one. Less people invited means less mental gymnastics when planning flights, accommodation, food, and more. One other benefit of getting married in a luxury destination is both the built-in honeymoon and the unique experience it gives to the attendees. The Knot Worldwide said in their 2024 Global Wedding Report that roughly 75% of couples around the world plan to go on a honeymoon/mini-moon after their wedding, and many couples find it appealing to get married in the location as it elongates their time there. One example of these previous 2 points is a Florida-based influencer named Lexi Hidalgo Garcia. She recently had a destination wedding with her husband in Guatemala, and due to this, they got several days of quality time with their guests before the ceremony. After the ceremony, the couples and close loved ones went and did a sunrise hike up a volcano, which all in all gave them spectacular memories. As incredible as these locations are, the environmental impact is something that should be considered. Peters and Dubois found that overall tourism activity represented 4.4% of the global CO2 emission, with an annual growth rate of 3.5% from 2005 to 2035. Some of these locations simply cannot handle the number of tourists visiting, and if not done in a mindful way, can lead to a strain on local resources. To combat this, couples could place importance on using local resources or lesser-known venues. Having a wedding in a destination location helps deliver both economic benefits and jobs creation, which can seriously benefit the selected location. Hodger and Listridge state that visitors will contribute to the economy by increasing demand for goods and services in a number of sectors, increase in local employment opportunities, and increase in local tax revenue. One factor that should be taken into consideration when contemplating a destination wedding is attendees with mobility issues, which affects 1 in 6 worldwide. The Department of Transport says that people with disabilities are significantly less likely to travel by plane, particularly those who have mobility issues. With the added struggle of going abroad, it could cause loved ones not to come and therefore risk them feeling excluded. There are solutions to these problems, some being hybrid weddings or local options. Instead of choosing an abroad destination just for that new and unfamiliar feeling, how about choosing a location closer to home that you've never been to? Or if they're set on going abroad, they could look at the hybrid wedding option, which is having a ceremony in a destination location and the reception at home. Regardless of the options and opinions people have on the topic, the debate on whether destination weddings are self-centered or a memorable and cost-effective experience is one that will always be relevant in the events industry. It all depends on the couple's budget, intent, and their inclusivity to those invited. No matter the destination you pick, we must always remember a wedding is not just about a scenic backdrop. It's about spending time with the ones you love most, surrounded by your closest friends and family. In conclusion, destination weddings are not inherently self-centered in nature unless we forget why we invited the people in the beginning.